Hi everybody, who would have thought we'd be doing videos yet again? Okay, so this is a short one, it's not a class, it's all about setting yourself up and a couple of the very basic Pilates exercises, which quite frankly, if you master these, you should be able to do most of them. Most people don't master these, and as a result, they tend to do all the other ones totally wrong. So, excuse the cushion, I couldn't find my little head thing, I think it's in the attic. So, I'm having a nice little comfy cushion. So, hopefully you can see, the light's not great, because if I open the blinds, it kind of like silhouettes everything. So, firstly is your setup. So, you want your chin roughly fist distance from your chest. So, if I take this away, I'd have to be like that. So, it's better to have like a really folded up towel rather than your cushion. But you want roughly that fist distance between your chest and your chin. You want your shoulders relaxed down into the mat. You want your feet hip distance apart. So we don't want them stuck out like that. And we don't want the knees flopping in. And we don't want them close together. So they're literally hip distance apart. You want to check your pelvic floor muscles, roughly 20 to 25% engaged. And at the same time, you're drawing the belly button in like a big wide belt around the centre of the body. And that's all going to work to stabilise your lower back area. It's going to engage your transversus abdominis, plus a few other muscles as well. And you're not going to remember to do it the whole time, but as you breathe in, prepare, just start to engage. And then as you exhale, which is generally the effort, you really want to feel those muscles working. And if you can feel like you're going to cough or you're going to laugh, you kind of feel these muscles tightening a little bit. That's what you're kind of aiming for. So the most basic exercise you'd probably get if you're doing the Australian system of Pilates, this is one for backs. So first of all, you've got to find that neutral spine. This is unscripted, by the way, so we'll just go with it. So if your back's hollowed and you can get your hands on them like I'm doing there, then that's no good. Your pelvis is just completely tilted forwards. If the other, you're kind of crushing and your tailbone starts to lift off the floor, then your pelvis is basically tilted backwards. You're looking for the middle ground. So you want just that natural curve of the spine. You don't want it arching, and if you're predisposed to lordosis of the spine where your back hollows, then you've got to really actively watch for that and make sure your pelvis doesn't start to tilt forwards again. And ladies, as we get older, we are predisposed to that, so it's something to watch out for. So they're called knee folds, and you basically do them slowly. So you take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, you lift the leg like that. So the knee comes over the hip, and the shin is parallel to the floor, and the ankle, the knee, and the hip joint, not the outside bit, the hip joint, are in a line. And then basically breathe in at top, and you lower it back down. That's it. I'm going to stick with this leg just so you can see what I'm doing. What most people tend to do, if they're not concentrating, is as they lift, that happens, the knee comes toward the chest like that, and then the shin goes a bit floppy, and it's just wrong, okay? You're not engaging anything, you're not working anything. You could do 1,000 of these, it'll make absolutely no difference. So you want that over the hip, shin parallel to the floor, okay? And then you lower back down. So you notice the knee angle isn't changing, you're just literally lifting 90 degree at the hip, 90 degree at the knee bend. And if you can do this in a mirror or even film yourself, because I can see what I'm doing now because I'm filming this, because it gives you like the mirror of it, you can actually see that you're doing it correctly. Now, as you move from one foot to the other, so if I take that right leg up there, that is my right leg, I know it looks like it's the left one on the thing. Okay, as I come down, this is where, if anything, your pelvis is going to twist as you change to the other side. So breathe in, prepare, make sure the pelvis doesn't twist. So you want those hip bones level and pointing straight up to the ceiling. And like I say, you might think this is like really, and I could do this without engaging my abs, anybody can do that, it's not hard, is it? You know, it's basically walking line on your back. But to focus your abs, your lower back, and lift, and really bracing here. Those are actually, they might not look it because of the big up, but they're really, really firm, okay? So that's knee folds, that's kind of your level 1 exercise. If you want to ramp knee folds up a bit, you take them into what's called your tabletop. And again, this is just done so badly by so many people. People who've been doing Pilates for like 5, 6, 7 years, whatever, most of them look like that. And everything here has just gone floppy, and you can engage it all you like. Those lower abs ain't doing anything, okay? So again, push the knees back so it's absolutely above the hip joint. Shins parallel to the floor, don't let the heels do that. Again, just straight away, all the tension goes, you're not working anything. So you brace it. Now, you can do this 2 ways. So if you're doing like the knee fold version, when you dip, the knee angle stays the same, like that. I'm going to do the same leg again, just so you know. So it's literally lower, lift. So what most people, again, tend to do is that. And sort of plonk the foot down and bring it up. Concentrate, keep those knees back. In a couple of classes where we've used the bands, which I haven't done a lot of lately, I have to say, you hold the bands like that, or band, scarf, belt, anything, pair of tights, socks, and push those knees away from you so that they're in the right place, so that when you do that, you come back and you'll suddenly find that you have to activate your abdominals, okay? You can't do it otherwise. If you want to change this, we can do another slightly different exercise, which is heel slides. So again, I'm not using the arms at the moment. So again, you check your neutral spine, you check your core. You literally lift your foot about 1 inch off the floor, and if your back is really sore, you can actually keep your heel just resting on the floor slightly, and you stretch the leg away. Now you can do 2 things. If you point the toe, that will stretch out your hip flexor, okay? And you bring it back. If you flex the foot, that stretches out the hamstring. So when you see videos on YouTube and stuff like that, generally most people look quite pretty, because it looks pretty, doesn't it? Doing that. If you mix it up a bit, so if you're practicing this, every now and again, do a few with each leg, obviously, so that you're just flexing the foot and pushing the heel away. But again, if your hamstrings are tight, watch your lower back for pulling away from the floor. It all is interconnected. You don't just have a hamstring, okay, or a quad or a hip flexor. They're all interconnected. So you've got to really work the whole thing. And then if you want to make it a little bit more interesting, this left leg's going to get tired, isn't it? I'm going to point the toe just because it looks prettier. You can point the toe, and when you float the arm, you don't force it. So now I'm going to switch legs. Come on, right leg, you can do a bit of work now. So when you do the arm, I know you won't be able to see the very end of it. When I stretch the leg away and take the arm, now I'm fine here. Now, if I force the arm, I can actually go all the way back. If I force it, most people's backs, you see how it's lifting, I can get my hand underneath it, off the floor. So you've got anchor. If your shoulders are really tight, or your upper back, anything like that, and your arm only goes to there, that's fine. Don't force it, just go with what you're comfortable with. So you really do float the arm and you stretch the leg. So flex the foot for a couple. So exhale, inhale. And again, you want to ramp it up. Bring your legs up into your tabletop position. And again, you've got to really watch now, because your arms are doing things as well. You've got to really watch that these don't start to do that. Okay? So brace, opposite arm to leg, and back. And then change. I'm really bracing it. Again, those muscles really quite firm. And then the final level, which I call dead bugs. Some people call it dead bugs. Is you do one, and then you cross in midair. But again, you want to make sure that that knee comes over the hip. And my arm isn't actually touching the floor, the one that's coming to the floor. It's just hovering above. 1 and 2. And that's it. That's your dead bugs. So that is level 1, level 2, level 3 exercise. Don't just go straight doing the dead bugs. Warm up doing that level 1 exercise. When people say, oh, can you give me a good exercise for my back? That's actually the best one. If you go to an NHS physio, an NHS Pilates place, which I don't think they're probably doing at the moment, that will be the first exercise they give you for your back. People think it's about your abs. Your abs, again, interconnected, transversus abdominis, big wide load of muscles. You've got your obliques at the sides that kind of come across. Your rectus abdominis, that's your 6-pack. Good luck with that, finding that one at the moment. It's there somewhere. We've all got one. So apparently, what's he called? In the ceilings, the Sistine Chapel, he painted 8-packs for some strange reason. But yeah, your 6-pack, that's your rectus abdominis. That's the one that makes you curl. So you want to do loads and loads and loads and loads of ab curls and not have any sort of like carbs or beer or anything. Then yeah, you can have a 6-pack if you really want to. So that's just one little exercise, and if you really work yourself on that, honestly, that is one of the absolute fundamentals of Pilates, okay? And funnily enough, it isn't one of the original exercises. It basically trains everything to get you to be able to do the full sort of exercises properly. I do wave my hands around a lot, don't I? Right, okay, so that's that one. I'm going to load this up. Hopefully I've not put any music on, so YouTube can't get rid of me this time. And I'll do a few more like this, just little odd ones, and you can tie them all together. But practice in a mirror. Oh, tell you what we didn't do. You can also, there you are, I told you it's totally unscripted. Here's the one I made earlier, dumbbells. Right. I'll just do you one to start with. You can hold either end of your dumbbell. You can do this in your tabletop, or you can do it with your feet on the floor. It doesn't matter, but you've got to watch your back. So you stretch, arms behind the head, slight bend in the elbows, and again make sure the knees come back to where they started and not up to your chest. And all this does, it just gives you a little bit of a shoulder workout, a little bit of a tricep workout. It just makes you work a bit harder. Now, if you overload this, and this is only about 3 or 4 kilograms, it's not very heavy. If you overload this, because yeah, let's be honest, we tried, aren't we? And what happens is as you take it away, if that's too heavy, your back just lifts and you're out of neutral spine. So don't overload it. Start small. You don't have a dumbbell, use a tin or whatever, it doesn't really matter. You can use 2, and you can do alternating. This is harder, obviously. So you can do right leg, left arm, and then left leg, right arm. But again, it really helps if you can see what you're doing, because when you've got more to think about, everything goes a little bit, you know what. I'm really bracing my abs again. So that was out. And the other thing you can do, I'm not using the Swiss ball because you won't be able to see the screen. Still got my green balls. If you've got a Swiss ball, because most people haven't got these, but a lot of people have got a Swiss ball, you can do the same thing. Okay, so you can just use the ball, which is a little bit lighter. And then, Swiss ball, or one of these, rest it on your knees, not between your knees, on your knees. And then, opposite arm to leg. It's much harder with a Swiss ball, by the way. Oh. And again, concentrate, so my shins were going a little bit high then, so I can look what I'm doing. Like that. Like I say, with a Swiss ball, this is way more effective. So give it a try if you've got one. It's just like I said, if you use a Swiss ball, you won't be able to see me. So yeah, so you can use little bits of equipment if you've got them. So that'll do for that exercise. That'll give you something to practice. I might give you another one tomorrow if you're feeling unlucky. I hope everybody's staying safe, and I hopefully see you all on the 2nd of November. Fingers crossed. See you all, guys. Stay safe. Toodaloo.